Dudes to Dads is a podcast to help men understand and navigate the transition of being a single dude into a family man. How do we make sense of it all? Well, we probably won't be able to, but let's go ahead and have some fun trying. And we are back.
We are back.
I'm Jason Kreidman.
I'm Alan Bush.
And this is Dudes to Dads. I don't know why I did it.
It's okay.
I feel like I need to do it differently
a little
every
pizzazz.
time.
Yeah, it's all right.
You know me, living on the edge.
Exactly.
How are you today?
I'm good. It's been a good week.
You look like Sprite. You're
I'm sitting up right.
Yeah, ready to go.
I'm ready. Yeah, my posture is good. I think it helps.
You're helping me stay
It's
awake.
like feng shui for people.
Is it?
No.
Okay. Very cool episode today. Cool, I think, is the word because it's just one of those fun episodes.
Okay.
So a lot of times we do the serious stuff. Sometimes we do the fun stuff. This one's some of the fun stuff.
The fun stuff.
Episode 113, and the title is 25 of the most annoying things young kids do.
Okay.
And now, there's a disclaimer here. Okay. I'm not saying my kids do all this. This is not where I get my inspiration from.
Right.
Maybe a couple of them. 24.
1 or 2.
24 of them. But no, this is being around kids, research.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
You have friends with kids, that type of thing.
And the reason I'm saying that is because my kids will listen to this, and I don't want them to think that I'm complaining about them.
They're good kids.
So
they really are.
But these are things I think almost all kids do.
Sure.
That's what I'm understanding.
Happens, yeah.
Number one, whining.
Oh, of course. I think that's adults too.
They do.
Kids more so, but
it's gnawing.
Yeah.
And then for me, this one's big. I mean, it's just, I think there's a period where, from like 3 to 6, it's sort of its strongest.
Yeah.
And that's just them learning, not necessarily knowing how to cope with things and the complaining and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, it feels like it tapers off a little bit after that.
Right.
When you're talking to a second and third grader, they don't seem to whine as much as like a kindergartner. Or first grader,
for sure.
So that's the first one. Second, they ask so many questions.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of these things, some people might, except whining, but people could interpret that as something wonderful. Sure. Like they're curious and they're, they want to know things, but they ask a lot of questions.
You have to research, look up Louis C.K. why, W-H-Y, question mark.
Yeah.
There's a bit he does where he talks about that. Well, why? And he goes, because
he's answering the question.
Yeah, he's answering a bunch of questions. Then it gets so abstract.
But why?
But why? Well, because some things are, some things are not. Why? Well, because things that are not can't be.
Right.
And he just goes down this whole path. It had me cracking up.
Oh, for sure. And the next one is that they ask the same questions over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So, you might get bombarded with questions, but then even worse is that they ask the same question that they had just asked.
Right.
Or the next day. It's like, hey, are we doing this? Or what's this going on?
Is that still happening since yesterday?
I think that has to do with some sort of reaffirmation or, so here's the thing. I'm not going to maybe try to, do psychoanalysis on all the analysis on all these questions, but they all sort of have reasoning behind them.
There is a loose rationale. You think about it, they want to engage.
Their brains are small.
Well, not besides that. That's true too, but they're trying to engage with you in conversation, and that's all they know.
Right.
They only know that few questions that they know, and then they asked it.
Why?
Or they know that yesterday you're going to get an answer from the same question. So let me just try to re-engage with dad again.
Right. Number 4, saying dad or mom over and over and over. Hey, dad. Hey, dad. No, listen, dad. I mean, it just over and over and over happens a lot.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Number 5. Now, this isn't all children and not everyone, but they're loud. Just in general, their energy levels when they're quite young, and especially if there's a group of them together.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like adults, when there's a group together, they just are very, very loud.
Yeah. I don't realize sometimes I was a quiet kid, more or less, but I'm loud when I'm not. Like when I'm I can get really loud.
Yeah, I've been known to be a little loud.
A little rambunctious.
Well, not rambunctious, but loud. People aren't actually very quiet about telling me that I'm loud. So, I mean, you worked with me. You heard me on the phones. You know?
There was a guy,
everyone would
disclaimer to the audience, there was a guy that used to work at Jason's office in front of when we were working together, and he would be like, yeah, you goes, I feel bad for that guy because he used to sit in front of you.
Yeah,
and like
he would close the door.
He would close the door.
Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I just can't hear myself when you're talking. So I know. You know what's funny? My dad would tell me stories of the same thing with him. Yeah. Like he was in an office, like in a cubicle, and like people would just, you know, like he'd have to like duck down under his desk because there was no door or something, you know, like, and people would, you know, he'd stand up and people would just be like, oh no.
That's
you know?
hilarious.
So maybe it's genetic. Our whole family's loud. Number 6, not listening. And that, I don't know what that is if I'm not communicating correctly as an adult, but they just, you know, children have a tendency when you're talking to them, at least you don't feel like they're listening. Yeah. Surprisingly, there are times when it feels like they're not listening, and ultimately they were. They just not.
Yeah,
you know,
I caught
not
it. Not
wanting to acknowledge it.
Right, exactly.
But you know what? Women do that too. Number 7, not cleaning up clothes, costumes, toys, whatever, all over the house.
Yes.
You know, there's going to be a theme going on here about cleanliness. Yeah. And that's just, I think, us teaching them.
Clutter, and there's like a trail of things that they've, you know, whatever room they were in, there's still things that are there.
Yeah, and the other disclaimer, or the other caveat about all this too, is as we've talked about many, many times, all of these are our fault. Because we're the one teaching them what to do, what not to do. And so, I mean, this is really, these are annoying things. And but until we realize that it's our fault, it's like, they're doing this.
See previous episodes on how to mitigate these things.
Right, exactly. Number 8, leaving small toys in the walkway that you get to step on. Oh. So little Lego pieces, little doll things, all kinds of little trinkets that you step on and hurt your feet, especially if you're barefoot. Sure. You know, we don't have carpeting in our house. Everything's either a tile or wood. Yeah. And so there's no cushion. Right. And so stepping on things is
very raw.
I try not to walk barefoot too much. And that's one of the reasons. Yeah. It's like I
can see why Dad, because I was funny. I was watching some TV show and the guy was putting on slippers.
Now you see.
And now I wear barefoot all the time. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess if I had kids, I'd think I'd
you don't want a Lego piece going up between your toes.
Oh, I've done that when I was a kid.
Yeah. Not good.
Not good.
Number 9, finding food somewhere where it's not supposed to be.
The closet.
I'll give you an example. Just the other day, a piece of salami in the playroom.
Okay.
On the floor, somewhere like in the corner. Yeah. How did that get there? And of course, I asked that question, and it happens to be a neighbor. They said that both of them, like in unison, they were together on that one. No, it was a neighbor kid that was, I was like, does that matter? Does that matter?
It's still there.
It's still there. And you saw it or knew that it was there. You know, it's like some science experiment. I was I don't even know. I didn't clean it up, but I don't know how long it had been.
Dad, I learned about penicillin and I figured I could make my own.
Oh, gosh. Like I said, these are not all my kids.
Sure.
As I'm giving examples about each one.
Yeah. The caveat, you probably shouldn't give examples.
Number 10. Clothes right next to the laundry basket. So they just don't seem to make it in. It's like, you got that far. Why is there piles of clothes around? I mean, we give a basket for the children, and it just doesn't seem to go in.
Yeah, just put it in the basket.
Number 11, toothpaste all over the sink. I know that they're learning the application of toothpaste, and so it's hard to get the exact quantity. But it shouldn't be that hard, you know, and I'm not sure how it all gets there, but there's toothpaste all over the place. In addition to that, the toothpaste lid, number 12, is never on the toothpaste.
Yeah. They make those with the cap that snaps on and off.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that.
Yeah. Well, I think they have them built in. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why.
What toothpaste
we just buy, you know, big, huge lots of everything.
Right.
And so it just, you know, but there's no question I can go on
They need something where they could just dip their toothbrush in it, pull out what their right amount.
Good invention.
I think,
well, no, I think there are those toothpastes that are specifically for kids where it's a specific amount that comes out.
Yeah, or
it's allotted.
Yeah.
Just for that reason. So I guess that makes sense. Number 13, not finishing their food for a meal and then asking for something else.
Gotcha.
That can be annoying.
Sure.
Number 14, bringing mud or dirt into the house on their shoes. Because the remove your shoes before you enter the house rule seems to not stick.
Right. Yeah.
However, this is where I think there's a problem, and this is a problem that's caused by myself or us as adults, is that we often have the rules for them and not us. So in our house, we don't have a no shoe rule. Typically, we prefer you take your shoes off.
Sure.
But I don't always, because my feet aren't, I would go from my office in the car home.
Right.
There's not dirt on it.
Right.
I'm not tracking anything in.
Yeah.
And so I may not take off my shoes when I enter the house. And so I could see, though, in houses where everybody removes their shoes, all the shoes are sitting at the front of the, I know people like that. The kids will remove the shoes.
And that's the thing. It's cultural differences.
True.
In college, I had an Asian girlfriend from Laos, and you never wore shoes in the house. You always take them off when you walk in and put them at the doorway.
Yep.
So in their case,
totally,
you taught from very early on that every single person in the house.
Yeah, and I think that's a mixed message, because we're like, well, I can wear the shoes because they're clean, but yours, you can't.
You're filthy.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's with a lot of these things. It's like, you expect your children to clean up, and then your own room's a mess.
Right.
You know, and you look at it, you're like, well, why aren't you cleaning up? And then you look at it and go, oh, I guess I should too.
Yeah, maybe I should be less.
Yeah, you can't want something when you're not doing it.
I know
yourself.
this is something I have to work on, because I let my part of the house or the room just get messy, or clothes or just kind of strew about because I didn't feel like doing laundry. Or I did laundry, but I didn't fold them, so they're still sitting in a basket. I know I'm this way, and I'm like, I got to change this. The minute I have a kid, I'm be like,
it's going to be horrible.
Oh my, it's going to be terrible.
Well,
then I have time, because he's still going to be like, or he or she.
Well, but here's the thing.
Little.
It's all about your tolerance for the cleanliness.
Yeah.
So, like, I myself do not leave stuff around.
Right.
I just don't. Now, I'm not going under the baseboards and, like, white gloving and I'm not that. But I don't have a lot of clutter. I don't leave stuff. I put my stuff away. So, in a sense, that's what I like. So there's other people that are more,
I get it, and I think I just
you may not be as strict.
Maybe, but I think I need to be more strict on myself, because it's something that I'm annoyed by myself.
Okay.
About myself.
Then you got to do it.
So I got to do it. So I think it'd be good for me to have for that reason. Work on myself.
For anything else, then that works.
Yeah.
Number 15, singing the same song over and over and over and over again. And now, we all have that where we'll like get something in our head, but kids have a tendency to just
they're on repeat all the time.
Beat it. Yeah. Just keep going. Well, yeah. Beat it. And that is being sung in our house.
Yeah. That's awesome. Actually, I'm proud of Case we've been doing
Number 16, watching the same thing over and over and over again, especially like when, as they were younger. That's a very common thing with children, is they like that familiarity. Sure. And so they'll watch the same movie 50 times every day, 3 times a day, if you let them, just because they like seeing that repetitive. Sure. And I see that still now, with kids. They're like, we had kids over, and they're like, they wanted to watch some movie, and all of them had seen it multiple times, and they still want to watch it. It's like the Lego movie or something. They're like, let's watch that.
But now they want to watch it together.
Right.
It's a new experience.
On a different screen. It's just funny. Number 17, they move really slow, especially when you're in a hurry.
Of course.
So you're going to be in a hurry. They are going to move slow. A lot slower than you will.
Well, yeah, and they also have little legs.
Yeah, it's not always that.
Okay, you're thinking they're moving. They're not even getting.
No, they're just not in. They don't have that hurried.
There's no sense of urgency.
There's no sense of urgency. But the gene is like developed, or like that's a learned. Being in a hurry, I think, is a learned behavior.
Sure.
They're much more in the present.
Right.
And so they are enjoying what they're doing, or they're not thinking about, I'm going to be late for this. They're not that concerned. We end up teaching them that, and then we give them anxiety and give them stress and give them all those things because they're not on time.
Yeah, they were a clean slate.
Totally.
And then all of a sudden we give them all that.
I apologize right now, kids, for the years of therapy ahead. They, in addition to moving slow, they eat really slow.
Yeah.
So especially when you don't. So, you're trying to finish up dinner. Hey, it's getting late. We got to go to sleep. We got to do this homework, whatever it is. And they're still chewing.
What's funny? It's I learned when I got older, I was maybe like out of college. This is how older I was, but I was hanging out with my father, and and he just ate so fast. Because he was so used to being on the go that he just kind of just got accustomed to that. So he like I was like, Dad, it's not going anywhere. Settle down. Like, it's like,
well, it's not good to eat. I eat fast too. It's not, it's better for you to eat slow.
Slower. Yeah. So the kids are like, I'm obeying my body, Dad.
Right. I chew 20 times per bite for proper digestion. Yeah, I know. It would be better to eat slower, but I'm the same way. I eat like at my office. I don't take a break. I just eating as I go. Yeah. I mean, I eat 3 or 4 times a day that way. It's just like, the trough comes on my head.
Put in my feed bag.
Yeah. Well, because I don't want my hands to be taken and I can still work, It's just so bad. Number 19, they ask for desserts, candy, or anything sugar related constantly. Mm-hmm. That is just, the sugar of our society. They really enjoy that.
Yeah. What's cool about your kids is they like other things too. They like vegetables and they're fans of things.
But I mean, all kids love
sweets once in a while.
Oh, can I have this? Can I have gum? Can I have cookies? Can I have It's like, didn't you just have that?
Like, and I want it again.
Like, I mean, whether it's the holidays or like, I remember even just like Easter week. Yeah. Oh my goodness. The amount of chocolate, candy, and I remember that as a kid too. It's like everybody, and the grandparents want to, I mean, it is what it is. Like you can't fight that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but then you're evil.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle.
Yeah, you're evil if you do that.
Exactly.
Number 20, they will interrupt you when you are talking. Now, I don't know where my kids got that from. Conversation hijacker.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. That's when I go back and listen to our podcast. I'm like, how many times do I cut him off? I know.
That's why the dynamic works. I'm kind of a type B or a type A. It's
you just let me do it.
Like, whatever, dude.
Imagine if you didn't and you just stopped, like.
We'd be talking over each other constantly.
I know. I apologize to the audience. So it's not like we're not aware or I'm not aware.
Yeah.
Let's see. They 21. They want to constantly use your phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my kids know they don't get to use my phone. So it's not even an issue with me. But, but I know I see that all the time. Hey, can I use your? And
it's probably some game related or something.
Yeah. That's another one here. Yeah. 22. When they play electronics or games, or you could say even watch TV, they're looking at a screen. They don't answer you or even look up. That one's bad.
Well, and is it because they're so focused on the thing?
I remember that as a kid watching TV. My parents had to say something 10 times. Yeah, it's like I kind of hear it, but you're so engrossed in like what you're doing.
And you might have thought they're just talking about me. They're not talking to me.
Right. No, absolutely. Number 23, they tell you last minute that they need something for school. Oh, Dad, by the way, tomorrow I've got a report due. Oh, really? Or, hey, tomorrow is a blah, blah, blah dress up day.
Right.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
You're dressing up like a human.
Right. Well, we just happen to have a huge bin of costumes. So that kind of works in our house. But for others, it's last minute. I remember, some neighbors calling or whatever. We went to different schools and like, this is recent. And they're like, hey, we know you guys will have, costumes. And it was literally like the night before their kids told them that, there's something at their school. We're like, yeah, just come over. Like we've got plenty of stuff. Number 24, they will argue something that they have no idea about and say you are wrong.
I know some adults like that.
Yeah. Like so adamant about their point and they have no idea what they're talking about. Like, okay, sure. I'm just going to let that one go.
Yep.
And number 25, the final one, they're always there. You just can't get away from them.
They're always there.
I mean, and the moms will complain about this one. Like, especially when they're really young and it's like you can't even go to the bathroom by yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too from friends of mine that like I have to keep the door open when I go to the bathroom.
No, it's a constant like they're there, you know. And as much as we love them, there are things that are just annoying. We could say that about our friends, our spouses, ourselves.
And many of these, there's adults that might fit the bill as well.
Oh, for sure. For sure. This was just to focus, just a little fun and part of this is realize that, as being a dad is like everybody experiences these things.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of this too, you can't take it personally.
Sure.
It's a common theme that we have of like realizing or understanding how to cope with this stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it can affect you if you let it.
Right.
And I know that I've learned that quite a bit, especially through doing the podcast and with dads and all that, of just understanding that it's like, okay, I just got to like chill out. Like, this is not that big of a deal. This is not going to be the end of the world. Choose my battles.
Yep. Choose the battles.
You know, and a lot of this stuff is
like
just...
like you said, a lot of this isn't personal. It's like, you may want them to do that, but they just don't know any better. They're just...
No, and it's like the thing of like a kid asking questions. You know, like... It's annoying. It's annoying, but like, I don't want to stifle your curiosity.
Right. Yeah,
you know?
that's perfect. I'm glad you're asking questions, but geez,
you know, we could have made a bigger list, but that's it. So, where do people get a hold of us? Maybe they want to provide some feedback on some of the things that annoy them about their kids.
Well, you can snail mail at podcast at deucedads.com. You can go to Twitter at deucedads, Facebook deucedads.com, and then please go to either YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, or all three, and subscribe to those channels and leave us 5-star reviews in iTunes and whatever star reviews in Stitcher. And I think those are all the bases covered. I'm sure we're on some other platforms, but those are the main ones.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And anything else?
We're good.
As always, thank you, Alan.
Thank you
for sitting through that.
Yeah, it was great.
Did you learn anything?
I learned a lot.
That kids are like people.
Kids are people?
People are annoying too.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe that's another episode. 25 things that just people do.
Yeah, people do. Yeah.
We actually could probably.
The kids are annoyed by you.
Right. You can go through that same list. So. All right. Well, with that, we will see you next week.
See you next week.